From hell itself to personal hell, this is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to more Sonic Mania. In the last episode, we got through Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, hell. Same difference. And in this episode, we'll get through hell. I mean, Shadow the Hedgehog. Same difference. So we're going to be tackling Metallic Madness Zone. And the reason I'm not looking forward to this is because, well, you see, in Sonic CD, my least favorite level was, in fact, Metallic Madness. It was just not something I enjoyed at all. I just found it so repetitive, confusing, and it's like, it was really annoying trying to, find the way, and especially the second act was just a pain, and I didn't enjoy it. So you can bet that I was none too happy to see it return in Sonic Mania. But to be fair, this is my favorite version of Metallic Madness, so yeah, it is certainly better than the Metallic Madness in Sonic CD, but that's not saying much. I still don't really care for this level. It is just not a lot of fun to get through, so it's like, we went from one of my favorite levels, which was Lava Reef Zone. I called it hell, but, you know, it is actually pretty enjoyable. And now we've reached one of my least favorite levels in classic Sonic. I'm not much of a fan of that. Still, I feel they could have included, any other level from Sonic CD, any other round, and it would have been enjoyable. You know, I even liked Wacky Workbench, you know. I know a lot of people may not care for that, but I actually found it pretty enjoyable. And so it's like they had to choose this one. So of course, you know, I'm just gonna try and get this over with as soon as possible because I don't want to drag this part out because it is freaking annoying. I don't really like this zone, and I ain't apologizing for it. It's just that this zone feels so wrong to me. I don't like the gimmicks and, well, I mean, switching to the background and foreground, it's kinda cool. And also, shrinking, that is also kind of cool, but it's it's still kind of maze-like, and I don't like it. It doesn't jive well with me. And the boss to this place is called the Pistons mk.II. And it's pretty neat. It's actually based on the final boss to the original Sonic the Hedgehog. And you know that, for some reason, I really died to that guy, a lot. And it's you just aren't given any rings, and, you can easily get crushed, but it's for some reason now, I find it to be weirdly easy. It's even though you have, no rings or anything like that, it's you're still given plenty of time to hit him. His attacks are fairly easy to dodge, they're given sufficient warning. I really sucked at that when I was a kid, but for some reason I find it to be weirdly easy now. I just don't like the gimmicks of this zone. It's just not very clear-cut where you need to go, and it's kind of confusing, and I just don't really like that kind of level in a Sonic game. You know, Wacky Workbench, say what you will about that. You know, at least you know where you're going there. At least it's relatively clear that, you need to go where you need to go. It's not, so confusing, and plus, the gimmicks in that zone, they can make it annoying for some people. I personally didn't mind it, but still, a lot of these things that you have in that zone, it's like, they're not that bad, they don't really make it confusing or anything like that. So, that's certainly a plus in my book. And, you know, I feel I should say, however, that this level was once again put in the right spot. I know I criticized them for, like, putting Stardust Speedway, like, right before Hydra City, which was, like, you had one of the hardest levels in Sonic CD right next to one of the easiest levels in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so it's like, that just doesn't work. And it's really clear that, like, they didn't think about that very thoroughly. However, like, with Metallic Madness, this is actually the second to last zone in Sonic Mania, so that's actually a pretty good choice to put it here. It's actually a pretty good choice to, like, keep the zone at the end of the game, because it's the hardest zone in Sonic CD, and thus it's appropriate to put it at the end of the game. It's not the final zone of the game, that would be the upcoming one. Which is pretty good, I find. I actually do enjoy the final zone, even though it can be kind of long. I mean, I know I've criticized this for being long, but you know, it's at least for the upcoming zone, you still know where you're going. At least it's not a mystery or anything like that. And that's what I hated about Metallic Madness. So, I do think they put it in the right spot, so this is some good level placement, I find. I just don't get why they didn't put, like, Stardust Speedway somewhere in this range, like just before it, or before Lava Reef Zone, or something like that. You know, for as much as I've ragged on about Metallic Madness, you know, it's not like it's terrible. I'd still play Metallic Madness over, say, Shadow the Hedgehog or something like that. Yes, I do insist on, like, slamming Shadow the Hedgehog as much as I can. Again, I'm nailing these Shadow the Hedgehog criticisms, because Shadow the Hedgehog is truly hot garbage. But back to why I find this to be the best version of Metallic Madness. Oh, and there's another life for you. We're up to 90 lives! My goodness. I told you this game was easy. But, as I was saying, the reason I find this to be the best version of Metallic Madness is it's just less confusing. Like, seriously, that was a major problem with the original Metallic Madness. And it's like, with this they got rid of the annoying pipe system so that, like, you can't get lost as easily. It's not as disorienting, and so it is still kind of confusing, which is why I still don't like it. But it is my favorite version of this level, so I mean, at least it's got that going for it. So, you know, it's not the worst I've played. One thing that's also noteworthy is that this zone actually lacks any time travel. Like, you don't travel to the future in Act 2, or the present, or anything like that, which is a bit strange. But as for the boss, well, all I have to say to him is that now you're gonna send for your medicine. Soon you're gonna shake for the Mississippi King. The boss, by the way, is called the Gachapandora. And it's actually based on a few bosses, like the Eggmobile D from Sonic 2, and the Marble Zone boss from the original. That's kind of cool. And of course, it's actually a pretty short episode, in fact, thankfully. It was as if an occult hand had reached down and blessed us with a short episode for once. I am not a member of the Order of the Occult Hand. That's just a joke, okay, folks? But the next zone is Titanic Monarch, and it's actually the final zone of the game. And this here is a very cool transition, I must admit. Like, it has everything to make it cool. Like, there's the lightning in the background, and of course, like, the big lumbering giant. It is the Titanic Monarch, and with that, we're done with Metallic Madness. So suck it, Metallic Madness. I'm done with you, and I hope I never have to see you again, but this is the Mississippi King signing out. And in the next episode, we'll start on Titanic Monarch. See y'all then.